Hey, this is Ginger from Ginger Snapshots. Hey, this week I want to talk to you about a reflector and grid for the Godox SK400II. All right, so last week I talked about the snoot, and I had this reflector, but had not opened it all the way or tried it out because I was excited about the snoot. So this week I wanted to see what the difference was and why would I want to use a snoot versus a reflector. And so I opened this up and I opened everything out and gave it a try. And so this is what comes with it. So you have the standard reflector with the Bowens mount, and I'll show you this. It just, you know, you're just going to stick that on there, twist, and it's that easy. And then it comes with a nice little, it looks like a little shower cap, and it just fits on there. You've got to stretch it out, and it fits on there as a little bit of a diffuser. It has this nice harder plastic. You know, it's frosted, so that gives a nice, this allows a lot of light, but it's still diffused. So it's nice, and it has little hooks, I kind of like that just connects right on there, and you snap it in place and then pull it back off. And this was probably what I had more fun with again this week. I tried out all, you know, everything, but these are the grids, and I've been learning about grids, so I will show you how to use it and then we'll talk about it. All right, first, it has a little spring on it, and it has a little tab. So what you want to do is have the tab facing out toward you, put the little spring inside there, and then just push in, and you're good to go. And why you want the tab on the outside is because you just use the tab to pull it out with. And I learned that the hard way because I wasn't paying attention, put it in, and it was like, oh, how do I get that out? So it makes it a lot easier. The tabs also tell you about the degree. So the degree is what changes the light spread, the amount of light, and how large of light that it goes. Okay, so I don't know if the camera will pick this up. This is a 60 degree, and then I have a 40 degree, and then I have the 20 degree. The 60 is, you know, quite a bit bigger, and it really does look like bigger. And then the smallest one, though, it just almost looks like a shade, like a screen door or something. It's just a screen. It's just really tighter. All right, so I tried out all of these, and I had to do a little bit of investigating. What's the difference in the degrees to even know that, you know, the larger the number, the larger the spread of light. But here's the biggest thing that I learned. My biggest takeaway from using these grids. You're not sacrificing any part of the light on the person. You are creating a nice light on the person, but controlling the spill of light and controlling whether the light goes on the background or on the person. And that's what you're doing. So first I wanted to try it out. And so what I did was I put it on, I had this light in a softbox, a 36-inch softbox, and then I did kind of almost a clamshell lighting. I had the SK400IIV in a 36-inch softbox, and then I had my reflector. I think it's also a 36-inch reflector on a stand, you know, pointing up at me. So it's just it's not the nice highlighter, but it's nice and small and easy to put together. And so that's why I had that on me. And then I got my SK400IIV, minus the V, I'm sorry, with the modeling light that still sticks out. So the previous version of this, and I had that behind me on a stand. So I first tried it out with the regular light softbox on me, and then I tried out this on the background and tried to see what was the difference that was on the background. And I will say this, that if I had probably shot on this wall where I have a little bit more feet, a little bit more room, then it probably would have been a little bit better of a experiment. But it still showed me what I wanted to learn on that. So the 60 degree gave a bigger light spread on the light, on a brighter one than the 40, and then it got a lot smaller using the 60. And I even tried it with turning the power up and kind of seeing what that was. But if you use the 60 and you're having the power up enough, you really could make a white background be gray. So the whole purpose of putting a light on the background can be, you can use it for gels and things like that. But mostly the purpose of what, like if you're doing headshots, the purpose would be to separate the subject from the background. Now, most people do that with maybe a hair light or maybe 2 strip boxes on shining either toward, you can do, like if you're doing a white background, you might want to put 2 strip boxes on the background to make it more white, to have a white, almost a backlit image look. Or you can put it on, you know, coming from behind and put it on the person. And a lot of those will have grids in them, and the purpose is to control the light to where the light is focused on the person and not going everywhere. One of the advantages of controlling the light with grids is that you're controlling it to where the light that comes even back into the camera. So maybe with a strip box, it's going to be more prevalent than with the reflector. But a lot of times if you don't control the light enough, you got a light coming at the person, but it's also going at the camera lens, and you're creating a lens flare like you would in the sun when you're shooting in the direction of the sun. It's not going to be as, as much with one of these as it would be with a strip box. But this is the beauty of this, that, you're having less lights maybe. You're creating a separation without having 2 huge strip boxes. You've got 1 light. You could use this with, any Bowens might mount light. Some of the Godox lights are smaller, like my AD200, it's smaller. So I certainly could use this on that light on my background and have a smaller light, more portable if you're going on location or something. But after I did that on the background and kind of figured out what that looked like, I wanted to try it out on me. And that's kind of what I had fun with, because whereas with the snoot, you look like you're in a spotlight, and it's like, some people will even use a projector instead of a snoot. I don't know. I don't see the point for me to do that, because it's like I have a snoot, and it just seems so much easier to spend $20 and get a snoot instead of having a projector. So it just seems way easier. So what I've noticed, and what I wanted to do, was kind of compare this with what I did with the snoot. The fall off is a lot less. Like with a snoot, it's, here's light, here's not the light. You know what I mean? There's just a clear definition. And with this, it's more of a softer fall off. You do sometimes still have shadows behind you. It is a little bit more harsher light or more direct light than using in a softbox or an umbrella. But it still doesn't produce a harsh light. And that was what I was surprised about. I was curious, am I going to have a lot of glasses glare to deal with? Am I going to have a lot of harsh light where I don't want anybody to see these images? But I felt like they produced nice light. And for me, what I mostly had that light pointed down toward me, and enough that it was hitting me and also hitting the reflector. So then that, again, it was more of like a clamshell type lighting. And then the reflectors bouncing back up on me to kind of fill in the shadows and even that out. But that was the thing that I think I was most pleased with, was you're getting a lot of good quality of light without it being really harsh. And you have the option of really controlling what you're doing with the light. That's the whole beauty of it. Okay, so I do not a newborn photography. That's what I specialize in. And I think, would I use this with newborns? Because I like to try out all these different things for my photography, and I like to not just do one genre. I like to do, I feel like you have to have a niche, but you can certainly have fun with everything else. So I think that you most certainly could use this with the newborn if you can get it, maybe the 20 degree, to where it's a little bit softer. It's not harsh light. But the beauty of it is that you're getting the same light quality that's going on the face. You're not taking away from the quality of what's coming through the grid. The only thing you're doing is stopping it from going in every direction. So it's another way, similar to the snoot, to where you're putting the focus on the person. You could do it with product photography. I keep referring to a person because that's what I do. I do portrait photography. So you could, you're putting that light on the person, and you're controlling that person's still the focus. That person is still the focus. You're not taking that quality of light. It's still the same beautiful quality of light in that area. and you're cutting off the light that goes around it, and it's a beautiful fall off. All right, so here are just a few images of where I did it first, and I actually did a couple images backing up against the wall. I did gray, as you can see, and you can tell that the gray actually becomes a black because there's not a lot of light going to it, especially when you get down to the 20-degree grid, and it's just basically focus on the person. And there are a lot of different things you can do, a lot of auditorial things you can do. Again, you can do this with just focusing on the person, and you can just have fun. You can also do it if you had, maybe you're doing a maternity session and the person has a sequin dress, and maybe they're wanting to make sure that they have light on the pregnant belly and the face. And so you want to create more of a moody shot. You don't want to have the nice 86-inch PLM like I have. So you have it a light with, something like this pointed at the person's face. That would be maybe the 20, and that's giving light right to the face. And you got another light strobe, and maybe you put the 40 on it, and that is controlling the light that comes to the belly. And there you have it. You have a moody shot that isn't giving a lot of light in the background, but focusing where you're seeing the focus of the light is on the person. And maybe that was why you would use more than one. So you're focusing on the face and maybe the belly. And that's just one example. But I think that's what I've learned this week. If you have ideas about grids, I've heard photographers say it changes their life, and I would love to hear your comments, because this is my first time really. I have grids, but I've not used grids. So put it that way, I've purchased them before, and this is my first time of really trying them. But if you have some ideas or some tips or one more thing that you see as the purpose of grids, please share it in the comments. I think that's it for this week. I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Don't forget, hit like and subscribe. Bye for now. Bye.